Hey guys, it's Mindark. Today we are fighting the Lich King in HearthStone's latest expansion. You have to defeat him with all 9 classes to unlock the HearthStone hero skin. Today I'm going to show you the Warrior and the Warlock. The Warrior is pretty fun. As you can see soon, the Lich King is going to give himself 100 extra armor, which is pretty damn tough to cut through, so we're just going to fatigue him. The game plan is to use Dead Man's Hand, which shuffles your current hand back into your deck. And we also have the Bring It On card, giving you armor, and Cold Light Oracle, which is our draw engine. If you fought the Lich King before, you'll know that on turn 7, he brings out Frostmourne, which kills all of his own creatures temporarily, and creates a whole bunch of 2/6 creatures. But once you defeat those, he goes into his third and final phase, where his hero power does 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, so on and so forth, which is essentially just fatigues you out. So to get this working, we're just going to try to draw through our deck as much as possible. That's why we just have a whole bunch of draw mechanics, such as the shield block or commanding shout. Or not the Brewmaster, but No Motion Inventor and stuff like that. We're just trying to get to those key cards. Dead Man's Hand obviously being the most important. So here is trying to buy time. You'll see me constantly look at the Boomerang. For some reason, I did not really understand how that card worked. I didn't even know it was in this latest expansion, so it's new to me.
Trust me. Spirits, I will guide you.
We're just trying to get through our deck, as I said, just drawing as much as possible. We don't really care what happens to our units, they're not important.
Astonishing. No one.
So we're going to slam the Belcher for some extra cards, trying to get deeper.
The end is coming.
Now on the Lich King's next turn, he's going to be clearing his board. Obviously it's just the 1/2 that's going to be killed off. And then he will get his weapon. He will be immune to damage. So he's just going to slam his weapon into whatever minion available, and then hit our face if possible too. So Brawl, if you had it in your opening hand, it's probably pretty good to keep, because if I didn't have Brawl here, it'd be pretty screwed. So as long as he has just one of these minions up, he will stay in this phase, and he will not be playing any other cards. The problem obviously being that he'll keep hitting you in the face. So if you just keep armoring up and putting minions down, he will kill it with his weapon, unless of course that 2/6 minion can kill it by itself. If that's possible, it will attack rather than the weapon, but the problem there is if that 2/6 dies, he'll move into the next phase, which we don't want him to do. We just want to hold him in this pattern for as long as possible. So with the 3/3, the 2/6 can't kill it obviously, so he has to use his weapon. And so if we take 2 damage from the minion, that's fine. We're armoring up for 4. So overall, it's good. Again, another scenario, only the weapon can hit it. And we're not going to hit the 2/6, we just are trying to empty our hand to get the cards we need. We have 1 Dead Man's Hand and 2 Oracles, so we're just looking for the other Dead Man's Hand and both bring it on cards. Brawl won't really be of use. I probably should have used it right away because only the 2/6 will remain. It was very stupid for me to keep it in my hand, and you'll see later why. Alright, so we got our first Bring It On card. We're still waiting for the other Dead Man's Hand. Not there yet. Alright, now we have the second one. But we're still trying to hopefully get both Bring It On cards, because we want the oracles and that Bring It On to be reshuffled into our deck. Well, we know that Bring It On is somewhere in there. Throw the Oracle back in because we do want it. This is the point, if I was paying attention, I really should have used that boomerang to kill the 3/2. Again, you'll see why. Alright, we're down to the very last card, so now it's time to use Dead Man's Hand. Of course, the problem with this is that the Brawl and the Boomerang was thrown back into our deck, which we don't want at all. So I would recommend that you just waste that Brawl, not really waste it, just use it up. And if I had put down a minion, just to use the Boomerang on our own minion just to get it out of our hand. We don't need to keep recycling it for no reason. No, stupid me, I'm just noticing now. I forgot that you can't brawl with just one minion on the board. So, just bad luck. Again, Boomerang, just kill off your own unit. Just get rid of it. Getting rid of this is fine too. You want to make sure you don't burn any cards, especially the Dead Man's Hand. And now we do it all over again. But as you can see, we're creating 2 more Brawls, 2 more Boomerangs. Here, there you see. I finally figured out what it actually meant. For whatever reason, I thought that the boomerang card itself was returned to your hand, whereas it's actually just the weapon. More useless boomerangs that we can't do anything with. Alright, so now that he is finally going to fatigue, we can move on to the next phase. Get rid of those boomerangs as quick as possible. He'll start playing cards again, and since we used Bring It On, that reduced the cost of his minions, so he can play them pretty rapidly. Of course, the almost infinite brawls we have do benefit us here.
Face now your tragic end.
Now I can brawl them all away. We don't want a dead man's hand first because we don't want the brawl, and can't boomerang because they're all immune. We can't target them with anything. You get pretty lucky with the 3/3 remaining, so we can at least just kill it with our weapon.
Job's done.
And the rest is obviously straightforward. You can't do much. Him playing cards gives us a chance to use our boomerangs, get rid of those. The cool thing about boomerang is that once you attack, you can, obviously it gets thrown back in your hand, so it recharges it. Not that it's the most important thing. But remember, you can't attack twice in one turn.
My master calls.
Almost out of cards.
Yeah, we need some more brawls in there. Can't get enough. I probably should have just used all the oracles, but for whatever reason I was afraid something could go wrong. But just playing all the oracles out, who cares if you go into fatigue at this point? He's taking so much damage, it's crazy. Again, I'm just being stupid. The guy's dead. 2 more oracles, and it is good night. So you can see, you can probably do this a lot better than me. I just thought it was a fun way of defeating him.
I see only darkness.
You can see we get a rune engraved in our Frostmourne to show our victory. Sweet pack that probably has a legendary in it.
Impossible. Impossible. What do you say? Best of 9?
And since I am so damn sure there's a legendary, let's go take a peek. Here we go. Oh. Oh. Is it a good rare? No, it isn't. Alright, let's move on to the Warlock. Alright, for the Warlock, the Lich King's ability is that you take damage based on the amount of duplicates in your deck. More duplicates, more damage, but we can take advantage of that by using Molten Giants. I actually only have one, but if you have two, it'd be preferable to throw them in there. Other than the Molten Giants, which is the main point, we'll be using Murlocs, because we're trying to burn him down before he gets to turn 7. If the Lich King gets to turn 7, there's not much we can do. We're pretty far behind and probably won't be able to come back. So we're down to 10. If this was pre-Molten Giant nerf, we'd actually be able to play it right away. We could have added more duplicates just to bring us down farther, but it's just kind of dangerous. Obviously, using the lifesteal Murloc was kind of counterproductive, just because I'm an idiot.
Can forestall my inevitable triumph. Who built that deck for you? Did they think you were fighting Hogger?
Alright, as unfortunate as that was, we at least can play the Molten Giant, and we can taunt it up with the Sun Fury Protector.
Shields up. The dark path is my destiny.
I was considering taunting, but the Sea Devil, was it Sea Devil Slinger? What is it called? Yeah, Sea Devil Stinger. It does damage to you. Well, if you use Murlocs after the fact. And I thought that'd be a good idea, but yeah, I mean, it will almost just kill us off by itself. You may want to replace that with a different Murloc.
I got this.
You get lucky here that the Molten can't be taken down. Just consider if you had two, it would make the game so much easier at this point. I'm trying to figure out a way to buff the most Murlocs at this point. I don't want to really lose any,
I got this.
but I do want to get rid of that Sun Fury to free up some space. The optimal adaptation would have been Wind Fury, but damage is good enough. And even with the Molten down, there's not much the Lich King can do. So he's pretty much toast.
Impossible!
And that is that for the Warlock.
I see only darkness before me.
You did it, champion! There must always be
The Lich King.
That is it for me today. If you enjoy little tutorials like this, just leave a comment below. And please like and subscribe, it just helps me out a lot. I enjoy doing it. I hope you enjoy watching. Thanks again.